Ever feel like you're constantly battling a tiny, mean-spirited version of yourself in your own head? Like you're about to share a brilliant idea in a meeting, and that voice pipes up, "Oh, please, that's the dumbest thing anyone's ever heard. They're going to laugh you out of the room." Or maybe you catch a glimpse of yourself in the mirror and hear, "Seriously, those jeans, you look like a stuffed sausage." For years, that voice basically ran my life. I felt like I was trapped in a never-ending episode of Law and Order, but the courtroom was inside my own skull, and the prosecutor was a relentless, miniature version of me with a bullhorn and a serious superiority complex. I was convinced that the only way to shut her up was to become perfect. Good luck with that, right? But today, I'm unmasking a different truth, a truth that took me way too long to learn. You don't silence that inner critic by trying to strangle it. You silence it by actually understanding it. In this video, I'm sharing the exact mindset shifts and the mental judo moves that helped me go from being paralyzed by crippling self-doubt to actually genuinely accepting myself, flaws and all. And trust me, there are a lot of flaws. First, we have to identify the judge. Evolution wired our brains to be hypervigilant, to constantly scan for danger. Somewhere along the line, that danger detection system got a little overzealous and turned inward. Your inner critic isn't actually a monster. It's just a deeply misguided protector trying to keep you safe from rejection, embarrassment, and the crushing weight of failure. But here's the problem. It's trying to protect you using a map that's like 20 years out of date. It's still operating under the assumption that you're an awkward teenager at high school. The first thing I tried was personification. I know it sounds totally woo-woo, but stick with me. I gave my inner critic a name, Brenda. Don't ask me why Brenda. She just looked like a Brenda. Anyway, naming her was weirdly powerful. It was like... Suddenly, I wasn't Brenda's puppet anymore. I was just some woman listening to a particularly annoying radio station. The second step was the courtroom method. When that voice, Brenda, started screeching. "Everyone thinks you're a complete and utter failure," I started demanding evidence. "Is that an actual, verifiable fact? Or is that just a paranoid fear fueled by a lifetime of questionable decisions?" Usually, the evidence crumbled faster than a cheap cookie. And finally, I embraced radical acceptance. I stopped trying to fix myself, to sand down all my rough edges and become some kind of perfectly polished robot. I realized that my flaws, my anxiety, my weird obsession with collecting rubber ducks, and my incredibly questionable past are not things to be ashamed of. They're just parts of the story. Authentic self-acceptance isn't about somehow tricking yourself into thinking you're perfect. It's about knowing deep down that you are worthy of love, respect, and a decent slice of pizza, even when you're a total mess. Eventually, I realized that trying to wrestle Brenda into submission was just exhausting. So I just stopped engaging. I pictured her sitting in the corner, muttering to herself, while I went out and actually lived my life. And you know what? Eventually, the volume on Brenda's bullhorn finally started to fade. She's still there, lurking in the shadows, but now I know I don't have to listen to her. If your inner critic has been particularly loud and obnoxious lately, I want you to know that voice is a stone-cold liar. You are enough, exactly as you are right now. Flaws, quirks, weird obsessions and all. In the comments, I want you to try something brave, something that might make Brenda's head explode. Write down one genuinely nice thing about yourself that your inner critic usually tries to bury, to hide, to completely obliterate from existence. Let's flood the comments section with some freaking truth. And if you're looking for more tools to navigate this messy, beautiful, utterly ridiculous journey of being human, subscribe to Unmasking Mental Health. I'll see you in the next video. And remember, you're not alone in this. We're all just trying to quiet our inner Brendas.